Hey there, football fans. Buckle up because today's video is packed with major updates that could shake up the top of the 2025 NFL Draft. And one storyline, in particular, might be especially painful for Eagles fans if it plays out the way things are shaping up right now. Let's talk about Abdul Carter, the explosive edge rusher from Penn State who's been at the top of many draft boards, including mine. Over the weekend, Carter reportedly had breakfast with the head coach of the New York Giants in State College. That alone raised eyebrows. But it doesn't stop there. He's also scheduled to visit the Giants facility later this week in New Jersey. Now, this doesn't mean things are set in stone, because in the NFL, things can shift dramatically in the weeks leading up to the draft. But if you follow the breadcrumbs, everything is pointing toward Carter being taken as one of the top 3 picks, and right now, the Giants are in a prime position to snatch him up. If that happens, it's a worst-case scenario for Philadelphia. And not just because Carter is one of the most talented players in the class, but because of who he is and where he's from. This is a guy who grew up an Eagles fan through and through. He went to high school at La Salle, then started at Penn State, all while proudly supporting the team from Philly. He even took his dad to New Orleans to watch the Eagles beat the Saints in the Superdome. Playing for the Eagles has always been his dream. So imagine the sting of watching him suit up for a division rival like the Giants, a team the Eagles face twice every single season. That's not just salt in the wound, it's a direct punch to the gut. But beyond the emotional angle, there's a much bigger strategic concern here. If the Giants end up landing Abdul Carter, they could be building one of the scariest defensive fronts in the entire league. Think about it. They've already got a dominant nose tackle, they've got some solid pieces on the interior, and now they could be adding a true game-changer off the edge. Teams that build from the trenches out tend to find sustained success, and the Giants seem to be following that blueprint. If they add Carter into that mix, their pass rush could jump from good to elite fast. We all saw what a dominant front four can do in the Super Bowl. Look back at what the Eagles accomplished in Super Bowl 59. They didn't blitz. Not once. They generated consistent pressure with just 4 guys on the line. They created chaos without sending extra bodies, and that allowed the rest of the defense to lock things down. We're talking 25 pressures in that game alone without a single blitz. The opposing quarterback was overwhelmed, disoriented, and clearly rattled. That pressure led to 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and an absolute dismantling at the line of scrimmage. That was a masterclass in trench warfare, featuring names like Graham, Carter, Davis, Smith, Hunt, Alma, and Williams. Pure dominance. And that kind of dominance is what the Giants could be aiming to replicate. If they land Carter, they're not just getting another edge rusher. They're getting a potential franchise cornerstone. Carter is explosive, agile, and built for the modern NFL. He measured in at 6'3" and 252 pounds, which is right where you want an edge rusher to be. Sure, there are some concerns. He skipped both the combine and his pro day due to nagging shoulder and foot issues. That's definitely something to monitor. But when he's healthy, the guy is an absolute wrecking ball. Last season alone, Carter tallied 12 sacks and 43 pressures, earning an eye-popping 91.2 overall grade from Pro Football Focus. That's elite. And keep in mind, he played through a shoulder injury in the college football playoffs and still managed to be a disruptive force. He's not just a pass rusher, he's a tone setter. A player who can flip the script of a game with one burst off the edge. Guys like that don't come around often, and that's why he's been represented by one of the biggest names in the agency world. They see what we all see, a player who can take over games at the next level. If we zoom out a bit, the broader picture becomes even more intriguing. The Titans are sitting at number 1 and are widely expected to take Cam Ward. Now, they did bring in Brandon Allen during free agency, but that's clearly a short-term patch. They've got a solid defense, they've bolstered their offensive line, and their head coach comes from an offensive-minded system linked to Zach Taylor. All signs point toward them targeting a quarterback. Will Levis doesn't inspire a ton of confidence, but Cam Ward? Ward has been lighting it up in workouts and interviews. He's currently my number 1 quarterback on the board, and by all accounts, the Titans are seriously impressed with him. He's a lock for the top spot. That leaves Cleveland sitting at number 2, and here's where things get interesting. There's a strong belief that they could go after Travis Hunter. Now, Hunter is a fascinating prospect because he could realistically play both ways in the NFL, offense and defense. But the expectation is that Cleveland views him primarily as a wide receiver. He fits what they need, someone explosive, dynamic, and able to give their offense a true identity. But there's a big question surrounding Hunter's usage. Playing both sides of the ball at the college level is one thing. Doing it in the NFL is another beast entirely. Managing his workload is going to be critical. Still, his upside is off the charts, and if Cleveland doesn't take him, the Giants could easily scoop him up at number 3. So let's say the board plays out like this. Cam Moore to Tennessee at 1, Travis Hunter to Cleveland at 2, and then Abdul Carter falling to New York at 3. That's the nightmare scenario for Philadelphia. Not only do they miss out on a hometown star who bleeds green, but they also have to face him twice a year while he's wearing blue. And to make matters worse, he strengthens a Giants defense that could be on the verge of something scary. Philadelphia, of course, still has their own roster moves to make. They've been aggressive this offseason, throwing money at key positions, but there's a sense that they might have overpaid in a few spots. Their quarterback situation remains uncertain heading into the new season. And while the front office enjoys a certain level of patience from the fan base, that goodwill might be wearing thin. Building through the trenches has always been the Eagles' identity, but this draft could be the moment where New York closes the gap or even flips the script entirely. And it all starts with Abdul Carter, a name to remember, a player who could shift the balance of power in the NFC East. Now, if you think Carter's production was a one-year fluke, think again. He's been building toward this moment throughout his entire college career. Even before becoming a full-time edge rusher last season, he was already making noise on the national stage. In 2023, while still adjusting to the role, he posted solid numbers, 4.5 sacks, 28 pressures, 6 tackles for loss. And then there's the intangibles, the motor, the leadership, the way teammates respond to him. He's not just explosive off the line. He's explosive in the locker room, on the sideline, in the huddle. He elevates everyone around him. That's what makes him so dangerous. Not just his individual talent, but the way he transforms a defense the second he steps on the field. But it's not all sunshine and draft hype. There's still a lingering question about his health. Carter didn't participate in the NFL Combine. He didn't run drills at his pro day. Word is he's still dealing with nagging shoulder and foot issues that limited his offseason prep. That's not nothing. In a league where durability matters just as much as raw talent, those medical red flags can spook some teams. And yet, here's the catch. Even with those concerns, teams are still lining up to meet with him, to bring him in for visits, to seriously consider him in the top 5. That tells you everything you need to know. The upside is too good to ignore. And if you needed any more evidence that Carter is not just another guy in this draft class, consider this. He's already being repped by one of the most respected agents in the league. The kind of agent who doesn't just sign anybody. That kind of moves signals to the entire NFL that Carter is not only marketable, he's destined to be a cornerstone player. Someone you can build your defense and your brand around. But let's circle back to Philadelphia. Because here's the brutal irony of it all. If Carter goes to New York, it's not just a missed opportunity. It's a haunting one. Think about what that means for the Eagles long term. They had a shot, at least on paper, to bring in a local kid, a lifelong fan of the team, who also happens to be a generational talent at a premium position. And now, instead of wearing midnight green, he might be charging off the edge in Giants blue, hunting your quarterback twice every year. And that's the part that stings the most. Not just the what could have been, but the reality that you're going to see him on the other side, probably dominating games, wrecking drives, and doing it with a little extra motivation. Because make no mistake, Carter's got that chip. He's got something to prove, especially if he gets passed on by the team he grew up loving. You don't think he'll take that personally? You don't think he'll circle those games against the Eagles on his calendar in bright red ink? Meanwhile, the Eagles are left to navigate the rest of the draft with questions still looming over their roster. They've invested a ton of money into a few key veterans this offseason, but at what cost? There's chatter that some of those contracts were a bit too generous, perhaps even desperate. And then there's the quarterback conundrum. Is their guy really the answer moving forward? Can they compete in the NFC with the current situation under center? These aren't small concerns. These are franchise-shaping questions. Yes, the Eagles are still talented. Yes, they've got a strong core. But football is a game of inches and draft picks. And missing out on a talent like Abdul Carter, especially if he falls into the hands of your most bitter rival, could be one of those moments you look back on in 2, 3 years and say, that's where things started to turn. And let's not pretend this hasn't happened before. The NFC East is filled with these kinds of stories. Players who should have ended up one place, but changed the balance of power by going to another. Rivalries in this division are built not just on tradition, but on moments like this, on players who shift allegiances and rewrite narratives. Carter could be the next chapter in that story. But of course, this is the NFL draft we're talking about. Surprises are guaranteed. Smoke screens are everywhere. Just because a player has a meeting, just because there's buzz, doesn't mean it's a lock. The Giants could go in a different direction. The Browns could shake things up. A last-minute trade could send the whole board into chaos. That's the beauty and the pain of draft season. Still, as it stands right now, the writing feels like it's on the wall. Carter is trending toward becoming a Giant. And if that happens, you better believe the Eagles will feel it. Not just in their hearts, but in the backfield every time he gets off the line like a missile and blows up a play before it even starts. So whether you're a fan of the Eagles, the Giants, or just a football junkie counting down the days until the draft, keep your eyes on Abdul Carter. Because this story isn't finished. It's just getting started. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A video surfaced earlier this week that has Philly fans buzzing with anticipation. It shows Kendrick Bourne, the wide receiver for the New England Patriots, interacting with players from the Philadelphia Eagles during a charity event in the city of brotherly love. Is this just a casual meeting, or could it be a hint of something bigger? With the Eagles' explosive offense in need of fresh talent, rumors are swirling that the 28-year-old receiver could be making his way to Philadelphia to join one of the most potent rosters in the NFL. Bourne, who has had an up-and-down career, recently signed a 3-year contract extension with the Patriots in March 2024. However, after suffering a devastating ACL tear in 2023, Bourne's season was cut short, and the Patriots placed him on the reserve/PUP list. Yet, the wideout has remained resilient, showing flashes of brilliance when healthy. His ability to stretch the field, combined with his knack for making big plays in critical moments, could provide a spark to the Eagles' already dynamic offense. In the 2023 season, Bourne displayed his talents early on. During Week 1, he caught 6 passes for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns, showcasing his chemistry with quarterbacks. Despite the Patriots falling short in that game against the Eagles, Bourne's performance was a glimpse of the potential he could bring to Philadelphia's receiving core. Could his ability to make key plays in clutch situations help the Eagles' Super Bowl aspirations? It's a tantalizing thought for fans who are hungry for another championship run. The timing of Bourne's potential move to Philadelphia also aligns perfectly with the Eagles' current needs. While the Eagles boast an elite offense, there are questions surrounding their depth at wide receiver behind A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Adding a veteran like Bourne, who has proven himself to be a reliable target when healthy, would provide the Eagles with another proven weapon to help elevate their passing game to even greater heights. The dynamic of an already strong offensive unit, bolstered by Bourne's skill set, could be the final piece in a championship puzzle. Kendrick Bourne is not your average wide receiver. While he may not always lead the league in receiving yards, his game is defined by energy, precision, and a relentless drive to outwork his opponent. He thrives in short and intermediate routes, creating separation with crisp footwork and quick cuts. Bourne also has a strong sense of timing, often finding soft spots in zone coverage and making himself a reliable target for quarterbacks under pressure. His ability to turn routine catches into significant gains is one of the most underrated aspects of his game. Off the field, Bourne is known for his infectious personality and leadership qualities. Whether it's hyping up teammates on the sideline or bringing a positive vibe to the locker room, he's a player coaches love to have around. His mental toughness was on full display during his recovery from the ACL injury, a process he approached with discipline and optimism. That kind of mindset fits perfectly in a Philadelphia locker room that values resilience and team-first attitudes. Under Nick Sirianni, who emphasizes culture and accountability as much as XS and OS, Bourne's presence could become a key locker room asset. Coach Sirianni has consistently preached the importance of versatility and effort, and Bourne fits that mold perfectly. He's capable of lining up both outside and in the slot, allowing the Eagles' offense to get creative with formations and mismatches. His experience with multiple offensive systems during his time with the 49ers and Patriots gives him an edge in adapting to new playbooks and roles. Sirianni, who has made a name for himself by maximizing the strengths of his players, could unlock even more potential from Bourne, using him as a dependable third-down option or a red zone threat alongside Philly star receivers. If the Eagles do land Bourne, it won't just be about filling a roster spot. It'll be about adding a high-character, high-effort player who elevates those around him. With a proven track record of stepping up when it matters most, and the kind of football IQ that blends well with Sirianni's scheme, Kendrick Bourne could prove to be a quiet difference-maker in a team already brimming with talent. In a city that values heart and hustle, Bourne just might find his perfect football home in Philadelphia. While nothing is official yet, the possibility of Kendrick Bourne wearing midnight green has fans buzzing with excitement. Will this veteran wideout make the move to Philly and help cement their place as one of the NFL's most dominant teams? Only time will tell, but if this video and the ongoing discussions are any indication, it seems that the Eagles are setting their sights on the future, and Kendrick Bourne could be a key player in that vision. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.